super clean to have this wooden accent on the back. All right, the client sent us a whole bunch of switches, by the way. I think these are the clouds, and I think these are milky whites. We're gonna stick with these ones. I did hand test all of these. These seem to be the quietest of all the switch. So we could try for the spacebar and modifiers. We've already used these. These are clouds, so these are good. These sounded quite special. So I think these will be an excellent pairing in the Envoy today. Let's take a look at the keyboard today. We're actually removing the hot swap standoffs. Also, I don't think I've ever seen this Lloyd kit. I've built a number of Envoys and I don't think I've ever seen that on it. I've never removed these things before, but according to the client, they're soldered on. So apparently I just have to desolder this, which I think I'll just heat it up with the iron and then just like yoink it off to get rid of these standoffs. Again, I've never done that before. This is such a great color, by the way. This like hunter green. Client asked for the standoffs to be removed. I'm gonna be honest, I don't think the standoffs on most keyboards are super useful unless you're soldering everything together, or unless you're screwing everything together and plan to like not take the keyboard apart when you're swapping switches. But even then, it doesn't really matter all that much. Oh, we're doing a wooden accent today. Very nice. I don't know if this comes off that well. No, I don't think there's anything to heat up here to take this off. Nothing's really coming off here. They're soldered and pressed in from the top. You heat the bottom and push. So I was doing it right. I'm just not putting enough pressure. All right, let's see. Oh, look at that. That's crazy. They do require a lot of heat though, huh? Yeah, I've never done this before. Everything else should be pretty standard on this. We'll play around with switches for the modifiers here, but let's just start assembling our case. I need to put the feet in first here. What am I doing? I may take out these screws, by the way. We'll see how I feel. All right. So this is how the board looks right now. We got the copper on the bottom. Green and copper make a fantastic combination, by the way. And the anode quality on the mode boards are fantastic. And then that wooden accent. The wooden accent on this does look great. Let's see how this is gonna sound now. I'm curious how this is gonna sound with this as a space bar. No, we're not using a GMK set today, actually. We're using OTC keycaps, which are OmniType's PBT version. I've used these before. They look great. I'd say they're pretty high quality ones. I have a feeling we're gonna need to swap this out. If we're gonna stick with PBT, we're gonna need to swap out the space bar. Interesting. I feel like we're gonna have to go with something a little bit more subdued here. Or maybe not, that's actually kind of fun sounding. This is so loud. Wow. Yeah, I do want to try, hold on, let me get a space bar for this. Let's see what this sounds like with a GMK set. Ooh, it's so different with GMK versus PBT. I want to try two keycaps as well. I have a batch of these myself that I haven't used yet, so. The alphas haven't really changed that much swapping to the ABS. Perhaps you need a full set on to really kind of capture that, but the spacebar is an immediate change you can recognize. So with that being said, let me play around with one thing here because I personally think, well, it is fun that it's this bright. It is a little too bright. Obviously the client can just swap these out themselves too, but if you were to try and lower the pitch, what changes would you make? Probably a polycarbonate plate. These are the HMX Hyacinths, I believe. I would also swap to all ABS. Okay, I do like this spacebar a lot more with the PBT. Yeah, that makes more of like a balance. No, I don't think it's, I mean, that's PBT. PBT is gonna have a little bit more of that glassy, almost thinner sound profile. I do like it better with this switch. What a fun sounding switch. Yeah, these might have to be the, like, I had a feeling these would be loud because remember I told you guys, I'm like, well, hear this? These might be the like clackiest switches I've ever heard in a keyboard. Let me remove the screws to see if that also changes up any sort of sound profile because it does make a difference in this keyboard. That is genuinely kind of fun though. I don't mind this sound profile at all. It's aluminum plate too, yeah. This spacebar with the PBT actually hits. Yeah, it's gonna be a little bit more bouncy with removing the screws. This is so surprising. Usually if I pair PBT with like an alu plate and really loud switches, it sounds super like thin and kind of falls on its face. I'm very surprised by these. I don't know if it's the switch. Maybe it is the switch. Maybe the materials, because I don't really remember everything. Yeah, they're stock. So perhaps it is the switch. Genuinely surprised at the sound of this board pairing with what we did. That sounds not bad for PBT. And nothing against PBT, it's just usually not really my thing, but our stock spring's pretty good. I've had no issues with them personally. On the HMX switches, I should say. Also, the springs on these feel very light compared to some of the other HMX switches, which is nice. I think I'm gonna put back the screws because they didn't really make that much of a difference. They kind of just changed the way that this feels. Pretty cool. I hope the client ends up liking this. Yeah, these switches are definitely in your face. Yeah, they're interesting, they're interesting. I have a batch of them too that I'll pair with a different keyboard. Okay, I need to do some research on the materials in this. I can see why people like them though. These are kind of fun. Oh yeah, there's a few lower pitch ones, but I would say the majority of the HMX switches are definitely on the more clacky side. Macchiatos are pretty low in terms of pitch. There's like one other one, I can't remember what they are now. Macchiatos, for me, have been the lowest pitch ones. But fun, this is fun playing around with these switches. Gotta admit, again, I hope the client ends up liking this. This sounds like it would be so much fun on like an all plastic board too. This would probably be like a very deep plasticky sound. Can you do another crush sound test? It's so weird going from this board to this board. My stomach growled. And then we go to this board. That's so different. This, when you have it with no desk pad, you can definitely hear it's a little bit hollow sounding, but probably due because I have these cranked in right now, the screws. I would recommend taking the screws out on the Envoy, like I have from the get-go. Well, this is fun. I also really like the accent being the wood accent on the mode here. It looks clean. You got to admit it. It does look super clean to have this wooden accent on the back. And then you got the copper weight, which also looks hella clean. Yeah, it does look really good with green, huh? The keycaps go really well with this board too. The client had really good taste, but in good fun, we got to try the Envoy with the XINHAI switches. Turned out really fun. Very surprising. Did not expect this sound profile out of this board from those switches. Thank you again, guys. I appreciate you guys being here and see you guys later. Bye, everybody.